How's it going, guys? This is not an ordinary video, but it's cold outside and I just wanted to share this all with you while I had the chance. This is my central boiler. It's the Classic Edge 350. You see the water temperature is 186 and the firebox temperature is 370. I'm gonna open it up. I put this load of wood in here last night about 6 o'clock, and it's 9:47 the next day, and that's how much I have left, and it's been down in the 20s overnight, and it's still like in the 30s right now. So it burns quite a bit. I've been getting, on the warmer days, I've been getting 24-hour burns before I have to actually fill it up again. It's easy to check the water. You know, you just flip this little lever and it comes up to the top right here. You know it's full. It drains back out so it doesn't freeze. I mean, the chimney setup's easy. You can open this and it's got some chains that you shake in there to knock all that junk down, keep everything from getting clogged up. Chimney, it's just a short 8-foot. Pretty much once you get it started up, I mean, it basically runs itself. I got it piped in underneath the house, and it's got your clean out door down there in the reaction chamber, forced air down here, so I mean there's no draft to fool with controlling. It has worked really well to keep the house warm. I poured the concrete pad by myself. Just bought, you know, several bags of concrete, made me a form, and let it set for a couple days, and then they brought the stove. I dug out the trench to my house to bury the line, and it heats my hot water as well as heats the house. But it's got a light on the front. This is, and I'll take you in and show you the thermostat and everything that comes with it, and see how warm it keeps the house. It's currently set at 72, and the house is 72. This is just the temperature I choose to keep it on. It will it'll do, you know, whatever temperature that you want, but I found in the weather right now 72 seems to be the best. It feels nice and warm in the house, and it also runs the stove enough to keep the creosote buildup down, and you know, everything. Up until it got down cold, I shut my hot water heater off and ran it when it was getting down to, you know, in the 40s of a night and everything, and I would set it on 70 just so it didn't get the house so hot, because it cut on like once in 2 days or 3 days, just because the house is insulated good and it kept warm and didn't really need to run when it was that warm outside, getting, you know, like 70 during the day and then 40s at night. But right now it's been getting down, you know, in the 50s and 40s during the day and 20s of a night, so I upped it to 72 degrees. It just feels a lot better, and So far I've still been able to get 24 hours pretty much out of one load of wood, and I'd say I'll be able to continue that until it starts getting, 30s in the day, and then teens or single digits of a night. I may have to step it up to, every 12 hours or something, but I'll show you how it's hooked up to the hot water heater. You can't see it really well up in there, and I don't have any lighting, but you can see the heat exchanger plate that's up in there to heat the water, that it comes in on the other side. Over there is the water coming in from the stove, and it goes in the green and back out the red back to the stove, and over here is the fresh water that's coming into your house from whatever water supply you have, whether it's a well or city water or whatever, and it's circulating the water through there. So the water from the stove is keeping this plate hot, so the water coming into your house going through here stays hot, and it is set at 185 degrees on the stove, and that was recommended to me by the people that installed it. They, just from customer feedback, people had better luck from keeping it like at 185 instead of 180, 175, 170. They said people got better results as far as a cleaner burn. They didn't have as much build up inside the stove, and it obviously keeps your water hot, and it just the stove overall was easier to maintain. Now other people, they may have different experiences, but that's just my opinion. I've had a good experience with 185 degree water so far. It has keeps the water warm through giving 2 kids a bath, and then somebody taking a shower right after that, and running the dishwasher, and the water is still hot. And the stove just kicks on for a few minutes and runs, and it's up to 7, 8, 9,000 degrees, in no time, and it don't take it long to heat up. This right here just gives you an idea of my wood pile. I've got more in a different area, but this is what I've started out with, and I guess I've been burning it for probably 2 weeks, and the wood has probably been out to where the tarp ended, stacked just about as high as that wood laying up there on the tarp, out to about here, which I guess it takes maybe 3/4 of a wheelbarrow load and to fill it up of small pieces like that. But if you use larger pieces like that, then it might take half a wheelbarrow load or a little less. But I found a good deal on this wood, and I'm burning it up first because it had the guy that had it had dried for like 2 years, so it's extremely dry, versus this over here I got earlier in the year and cut. I've got some in another place in a barn that I cut early in the year and late last year that's been drying out, but this is really dry, so I wanted to use it. But I've used really dry poplar and oak and maple and all that stuff, and even the poplar lasts, has lasted 24 hours in that stove. So you're really getting your money's worth for the wood. You may be putting a lot in it, but you're getting way better burn times considering I had a Hot Blast 1500 before this one, and I would use probably a wheelbarrow load a day easy, and I would have to fill it up like 5 or 6 times a day when it was cold. Pretty much every 3 to 5 hours I was having to fill it up, and at the most, with it cut way down, I might get 6 hours of burn time out of it, and it still not keep the house completely warm. The stove, it just got finished with a burning cycle, and it only smokes when it is going through the burn cycle, and you can see the smoke slowly going away. When these fans in here, everything cuts off, it goes down to little to no smoke. But right now, when it just got done running 445 degrees still inside the chamber and 185 water temperature, so it's really a clean burning stove, and it heats really well so far. But I'm not trying to sell this particular stove to you. You may have your stove that you really like and are really interested in, but this is the smallest size stove. They have 2 bigger sizes in this particular Classic Edge, but I just wanted to share this with you and show you the stove that I like. But it's you know, a big expense for, you know, one time, but considering I've been having a $200 or so $200 electric bill, and at the beginning of winter it's already down, or actually middle of fall, it's already down to $80, and that's with the water heater running, and I just cut it off a few days ago, and I will see what the electric bill is without the water. So just wanted to show you all this stove, and if you all are thinking about getting one, this will be something to look into, or whatever choice of outdoor furnace you might like. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.